Hi guys, how you doing? So today is the 11th of July, 2022, and once again here I'm in downtown Sydney to do another video for you guys. Now I do apologize, I haven't been on my channel for the past week. That's mainly because for one, it's been raining pretty much all week, and secondly, I didn't have really a reason to come to downtown except today that I'm actually renewing my boat driver's license. So I do have a boat driver's license, a motorcycle, and a car driver's license. So I gotta get that done after I do this video for you guys. But I wanted to come on board my channel today and debunk the rebuilding of the third temple for you guys. I think that a lot of Bible scholars are having a little bit of a hard time as to when the third temple is going to be rebuilt. You know, we know from history that the first temple was built by King Solomon. God said to King David, I'm not going to allow you to build the first temple because you have been a warrior all your life. And so the honor was given to King Solomon to rebuild the first temple. Now moving forward, the second temple was then rebuilt by, God gave the authority spiritually, if you like, to King Cyrus of Persia. God gave King Cyrus the authority to rebuild the second temple, but King Cyrus used the Jewish people that were in bondage. He allowed them to go back into Jerusalem to rebuild the second temple, and King Cyrus provided all the building materials, gold, silver, wood, animals for sacrifices and things like that, all the materials needed. And that was during the time of Ezra and Nehemiah. So if you read the book of Ezra and Nehemiah, you will find more there, about the rebuilding of the second temple, if you like. And then we also know that Herod the Great, or King Herod, remodeled the second temple. He actually enlarged the second temple, if you like. But he wasn't given the authority of God to do so. So it was more like, King Herod talked to his people, to the Jewish people, and they all agreed, hey, why don't we enlarge and make it bigger and things like that. So, but we know what happened to the second temple, and the Roman army ruler, Titus, he destroyed, the second temple, just like Jesus prophesied. Not one stone will be left from this second temple. And we know that Herod the Great, he's in hell because he tried to kill Jesus. So that is that. And now Israel wants to build the third temple. Now, a lot of Bible scholars are having trouble with this. Some are saying out there on YouTube that the third temple is being rebuilt right now. That's not the case. I can assure you of that. If anybody says to you that the third temple is being rebuilt right now, ask him this simple question. Okay, so tell me the location of where this third temple is being rebuilt right now, and very likely is that they're not going to have an answer for you. So now that's not to say that the temple authorities are not making preparations. They already have the golden menorah. They are already training the Levite priests. They have built an altar. They got the bezos and things like that. So they have made some preparations, but the third temple cannot be rebuilt until Israel signs a covenant as per Daniel 9:27, and until the Messiah, we know him as the Antichrist, gives Israel the permission to rebuild the third temple. Now, if you were to ask any Jewish rabbi out there in your local area, and you ask your local rabbi, hey, when is it likely that the Jewish temple authorities are going to rebuild this third temple? And very likely they're going to say, we're waiting for our Messiah to turn up. And then when he turns up, that's when we'll start rebuilding the third temple. So that's why I said to you that until Israel signs the covenant as per Daniel 9:27, and until the Messiah, we know him as the Antichrist, gives permission to the Israeli authorities to rebuild that third temple, then that third temple cannot start its construction. Now, when do I think that this third temple is going to be rebuilt? Now, In my opinion, it depends. It could be borderline between the end of the church age after Israel sunset covenant as per Daniel 9:27, which will be done in this dispensation of the church age. I've done videos on this already. We cannot move forward into the tribulation period until Israel sunset covenant as per Daniel 9:27. And then once that happens, it's going to trigger Paul's prophecy in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 verse 3, that the man of sin of the Antichrist shows up with a written covenant and the signature of Israel, saying, you know, here to rule for the trib. Then see you later. That's when the rapture of the church happens. Now, the problem with this is that I don't know if there's going to be a gap. Once Israel's sunset covenant with the Antichrist, then I don't know if the Antichrist will take 1, 2, 3 weeks or even a month later to come out later and publicly say, hey, I got the signature of Israel, now I'm ruling for the trib. Now, during that gap, it could be a gap or there might not be a gap. As soon as Israel sunset covenant by Daniel 9:27 and the man of sin shows up right away, say for example, like the following day, then bang, rapture of the church. But if there is a gap, say a 1, 2, or 3 or 4 weeks gap between when Israel sunset covenant and when the Antichrist shows up to say, hey, I'm ruling, if there is a gap, say of a month, let's just, for argument's sake, go with this, then perhaps the Israel temple authorities might start rebuilding the third temple, maybe not, but no doubt about it, that if it doesn't happen during the church age, then as soon as the Antichrist shows up and we'll have the trib, immediately as soon as the trib starts, that third temple will be rebuilt, because if you read Revelation 11, it talks about the two witnesses, and the two witnesses are Moses and Elijah, and I already debunked this for you guys in a video very recently. And these two witnesses, Moses and Elijah, they have to oversee or look after the rebuilding of the temple for the first 3.5 years, or for the first 1,260 days, like it says in Revelation 11. So they have to oversee the rebuilding of the third temple and protect all the temple workers whilst the temple is being rebuilt. So that's why I'm saying that I don't know if it's going to be rebuilt right at the end of the church age, borderline obviously with the trib, or at the beginning of the trib, 100% for sure. Once the trib happens, the two witnesses will come out, Moses and Elijah, and the temple will be rebuilt right there and then. But it could possibly be rebuilt right at the end, borderline, with the trib, if there is a little bit of a gap, when this Antichrist is going to show up, if you like. So, if there is no gap, then obviously Israel will rebuild the third temple right away, immediately after the rapture of the church, at the beginning of the tribulation period. So, moving forward, I don't want to keep this video too long. With regards to who this Antichrist is going to be, well, he's not going to be Jewish according to the Bible. He's going to be an Assyrian. That's right, an Assyrian. Now, there are 4 major Bible prophecies that talk about this Assyrian. There are 3 prophecies in Isaiah and 1 in Micah 5.5. Now, let me read to you what it says about this Antichrist. Okay, now in Isaiah 10.5, it says, "O Assyrian, the rod of my anger, and the staff in the hand is my indignation." So what Jesus is saying in Isaiah 10.5 is that he's really angry that the Antichrist or the Assyrian is sitting there on that rebuilt third temple, ruling with a rod of iron. Jesus is very upset at that. And if you read Isaiah 14:25, it reads, "I will break the Assyrian in my land." So basically what Jesus is saying here is that at the second coming of Jesus, with his breath, he's going to wipe out, the Antichrist, and he's going to put him and the false prophet in the lake of fire and brimstone. The other prophecy is on Isaiah chapter 30, verse 31, and it says, For through the voice of the Lord shall the Assyrian be beaten down. So through the voice of the Lord shall the Assyrian be beaten down. So basically what's going to happen is that Jesus' second coming, if you read Revelation 19:20, Jesus' second coming, Jesus with his breath is going to wipe him out, like I said before. So, and also if you read Micah chapter 5 verse 5, it says, and this man shall be the peace when the Assyrian shall come. So in other words, what Jesus is saying there, or the prophet Micah chapter 5 verse 5, is that that the Antichrist is going to make a peace agreement with the Israelis. In other words, Daniel's covenant as per Daniel 9:27. So these are the four major prophecies. I'll repeat them again. You'll find them, three of them, in Isaiah 10:5, Isaiah 14:25, Isaiah chapter 30 verse 31, and Micah chapter 5 verse 5. So it's going to be an Assyrian according to these Bible prophecies. Now it's a good thing that it's going to be an Assyrian and not actually a Jewish person, someone of the natural covenant. He's going to deceive the Jewish people, unfortunately, but it's been prophesied. So we got four major Bible prophecies there. Now this Assyrian, he's going to have to be someone who is well-spoken, very conservative, because don't forget that he's going to have to convince the secular Jewish people in Israel. He's going to have to convince the Orthodox people in Israel, and also the ultra-Orthodox people in Israel. Now we know that in Jerusalem and also in the towns of Bnei Brak, which is very close to Tel Aviv, and also Mea Shearim, which is close to Jerusalem, there's a lot of Orthodox and ultra-Orthodox Jews that live there, a lot of Haredim. And so this, Mashiach, we know him as the Antichrist, is going to have to be someone that's well-spoken, that knows the Bible really well, someone who's very much a conservative, because he's going to have to convince, especially more so the Orthodox and the ultra-Orthodox people in Israel, which are, they are very conservative. So, it's going to have to be a figure that, it has to show a lot of respect. It has to be very well spoken, very conservative. Someone that is able to convince people. So, he's going to have to dress really well for the occasion. I'm not sure how he's going to be dressed, to be honest, because in order to convince the Orthodox and the ultra-Orthodox, it's going to have to be a figure that is well dressed, so we'll see what pans out. Obviously, it's not going to be any politician or any major socialite out there in the world. It's going to be a person that's completely unknown. It's going to come out of the blue. I'm talking about this Antichrist. So we'll see what happens, I thought that it was going to be perhaps Jared Kushner, because he was involved, with the Abraham Accords and things like that. But I'm not really sure that he's going to be the one. I think that this figure is going to be a completely unknown figure. I don't think he's going to be a politician. I think he's going to be someone who has been studying the Bible for a very long time in order to convince secular Orthodox and ultra-Orthodox Jewish people in Israel and also around the world. So I don't think he's going to be a politician. I've been thinking about this, lately. So, it's going to take a special person, to convince the Israelis, this Messiah that they're choosing, we know him as the Antichrist. So we'll see what pans out. But it's going to be interesting. So, yeah, we are very close to the rapture of the church now. So things are heating up. I'm just waiting to see when Israel is going to start, to fulfill its prophecies, as in Isaiah 17.1, the prophecy of Damascus being a heap of ruin, the prophecy in Jeremiah 49, verses 34 to 39, in other words, the Elam Bible prophecy. Obviously, we're all waiting for the Ezekiel word 38, 39, then the signing of the covenant, as per Daniel 9:27. Even for that matter, Daniel 9:27 is pretty much equal to Isaiah chapter 28, 15, and also Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7, and also Daniel 12.1. So that's four are actually executed for the rapture of the church, when Paul says in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 3, that when they talk about peace and safety, then sudden destruction, Paul is actually grabbing these four prophecies that I just told you. In other words, Daniel 9:27, Isaiah 28:15, Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 7, and Daniel 12.1. He's grabbing a hold of them and executing these four for the rapture of the church. And when Israel signs a covenant, as per Daniel 9:27, and then it will execute Paul's final prophecy of the rapture of the church, that the man of sin shows up, as in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. He shows up with a written covenant with the signature of Israel, and then bang, rapture of the church, see you later. We go to heaven, and then God is going to deal with Jacob's trouble. So, all right, that's it, folks. I look forward to doing my next video for you guys. But yeah, I just wanted to debunk the rebuilding of the third temple, because I think that a lot of Bible scholars are having trouble with this. Some are saying that it's already being rebuilt right now, but not so. Anybody that says that the third temple is being rebuilt right now, ask them where is the location. So they're not going to be able to tell you that. We know it's going to be somewhere in Jerusalem, but they won't be able to tell you where. So they are making preparations, like I said, but if you ask any Jewish rabbi in your local area, when is the third temple likely to be rebuilt, the greater majority will say to you, we're waiting for our Messiah. We know him as the Antichrist. And until he shows up and is revealed to us, we cannot rebuild that third temple, because we need permission from him to rebuild it. Just like when God gave permission to King Solomon to rebuild the first temple, and just like God gave permission to King Cyrus to rebuild the second temple, King Cyrus wrote a decree allowing the Jewish people that were under his bondage. He released them, during the time of Ezra and Nehemiah, and the Jewish people started rebuilding the second temple, and King Cyrus supplied all the materials, like I said, the wood, building materials, gold, silver, things like that, beasts, for the sacrifices, and it was finished during the reign of King Darius. So, but yeah, like this third temple, we got to wait until Israel's Messiah, we know him as the Antichrist, shows up. And I just told you that he's going to be an Assyrian, according to the 4 Bible prophecies that I've given you, 3 from Isaiah and 1 from Micah. And I also debunk for you the 2 witnesses, which are in Malachi. Malachi chapter 3, verse 1, debunks Moses. Behold, I will send you the messenger of the covenant, which is Moses, if you read the book of Exodus. And then in Malachi chapter 4, verse 5, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet. So that's the 2 witnesses. And also, Revelation 11 also alludes to the 2 witnesses being Moses and Elijah. And also we saw a type of that, of Moses and Elijah, when Jesus had the transfiguration in Mount Tabor. So I hope that I have debunked all these for you guys, and I hope that this video has edified the church. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and I look forward to doing my next Bible video for you guys. Talk to you guys later.